Spring, kind of, at last, whatever time zone or time stream you're in. It's Type 40, not live. This time with me, Dan Hadley, Birmingham's king of the geeks, and this is the Spacebook, the best channel that you never heard of for our Doctor Who content. This is Type 40, a Doctor Who podcast in as live form. It's myself here and my good friend Simon Horton's about to join me. Welcome, Simon.
Well, hello, Dan. It's lovely to be back with you again. Here we are, not live, sort of.
Yeah, I know. I hope people can tell by the sign above Simon's head, which is usually flashing bright yellow live. It isn't this time. It's just the normal one. Yes, so here we are. So what's all this about? What are we doing here? Why are we bothering you? Well, first of all, we're going to remind you to please like the video, because you are going to like what we're going to tell you about now. We promise. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more of this, whether we're live or not. Whether it's a podcast or a live stream, there's so much going on the Spacebook, inside and outside of the TARDIS. Yes, but we are here to talk about something very specific and something quite exciting and something about to land in the next few weeks, and something that we wanted to cover on next week's Type 40 live stream on a Tuesday. So in light of that fact, we thought we'd give you a few days warning because we'd love you to get involved too, wouldn't we, Simon?
We absolutely would. Yeah, we want as many people as possible to get involved in this, because I just think this is quite a cool thing that we're going to be talking about, and there's a freebie involved in it, and everybody can join in. So why wouldn't you?
Everybody loves a freebie. I mean, you get us for free anyway, but you know, that's by the by. You want proper, something of worth, something of substance that you can physically hold in your hands and flip through the pages of, and yes, at hand to make sure you get something like that over the Easter period. Our Candy Jar Books, everybody. Candy Jar Books, the independent publishers of many Doctor Who related titles, some very popular stuff for families, kids and adults alike. So it crosses the boundaries, doesn't it? Their various titles. There's stuff for fiction, for children with the Lucy Wilson mysteries, and there's the deeper dive stuff for us slightly older, but young at heart Doctor Who fans. And yeah, this new thing they've got coming up, this is what we wanted to talk to you about. Let's get it up on screen. Yeah, it's a brand new title coming from Candy Jar Books, and it's called 100 Objects of Doctor Who. And this is written by Philip Bates, and it's a brand new non-fiction title. About to, I think, yes, it does come out on the 2nd of April. Now, this sounds right up our street, doesn't it, Simon? I mean, for a start, let's have a closer look. Look at that cover artwork.
It's great, isn't it? I mean, yeah, this is for the geeks among us. It looks like a very irreverent dip into 100 Objects of Doctor Who. Anybody that might have a reasonably long memory might remember, I think it was back in the 50th anniversary, that there was a book released. I can't even remember what it was called now, but I think that was a similar kind of thing. It was 100 Objects of Doctor Who, but it was a far more, by the looks of it, serious take on the subject than this one, which is far more off the wall and as I say, irreverent and fun. So this is the kind of thing that I love. I don't know about you, Dan. I love fiction, but I don't read a lot of fiction these days.
Not as much as I used to.
No, I like to dip into these kind of books that where you can just dip in and dip out without having to worry about losing threads of the plot. So this is definitely the kind of book that you can dip in and out of to your heart's content.
I think I got into trouble for calling this for calling books like this books you would read in the smallest room in the house. So I won't use that phrase this time, JT. If you're watching, I will describe it as a coffee table book. And it is something that one can flip through whilst you're waiting for a cuppa to brew or whatever else, or even spend an entire evening with. Because it does seem like the kind of book that you could open when you've got a spare 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes could turn into half an hour or even longer.
Yeah, absolutely, because there is a freebie up there of a sample of the book, and I've had to dip through this already. And some of the sections are only a page or two long. Some are 4 or 5 pages long. So I have to be honest, I think it's probably the coolest book you could possibly put in the smallest room in the house. And I think once COVID actually lifts and we all go back to going into each other's houses, I think I'd love to go into somebody's smallest room and find a copy of this sitting there. It's perfect, isn't it? Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I've got an upset stomach. Sorry, be down in a moment. Be like that. Yes, so yes, isn't it terrible? Typical Brits, aren't we? We've gone lavatorial. But yeah, I mean, this is, first of all, this is a very, very beautiful piece of artwork. This is by Martin Bain. So Martin, you've done Candy Jar proud here, and it evokes, doesn't it, Countdown and TV 21 and all those comics from the 60s and the early 70s in particular, with a beautiful illustration with the typical 1970s wallpaper there. You know, some of us are old enough to have had such wallpaper, and I think that's why the artwork like this, nostalgic artwork like this, it just hits you, gives you the warm fuzzies. They know their target audience, I think, at Candy Jar, and this is their blurb, and it says 100 Objects of Doctor Who is a celebration of everyone's favourite sci-fi show. See, take that, fans of Buck Rogers. What do you know? Perfect for fans, no matter your mileage. That's a lovely way of putting it. Yeah, whether you've just started your journey through all of time and space, or have lived through the highs, the lows, the wilderness, the Androzanes, and the twin dilemmas. Inside, you'll find a terrifying army of 3 Daleks. Death's head. Oh, Death's head. Oh, I'm definitely in. A really quite astonishingly heavy door, dinosaur fossils, a framed piece of wall, and much, much more. This is a book about Doctor Who, but probably not the one you're expecting. So it does say that it's up for pre-order. I think it has been up for a little while, but it will not be available in shops due to the pandemic, the pesky pandemic that's grinding all our gears now after so long. But titles like this, they perk up even a lockdown day, don't they? And it's going to be an exclusive limited release. And it says here, please note the free transfer mentioned on the cover are not included with this product. Objects of interest.
What a shame that they've had to make that disclaimer. I dare say they've actually had people writing in and saying, "Oh, we're going to get the free transfers." But of course, for Doctor Who fans of a certain age, those send a little flutter through the heart, don't they? Those free transfers on the front, which you don't get. Bear in mind, it's just there for effect. But we love it.
It says here, Philip Bates, the writer, currently runs the Doctor Who Companion website, which was the successor to Cassette. I remember Cassette, certainly. I think I have used the Doctor Who Companion website, and he's previously written books for Candy Jar too. And so the objects of interest include such as the time-space visualizer, the sonic screwdriver, a talking cabbage, the Revenge of the Cybermen VHS sleeve, the BBC sound effects album, and the 1996 series Bible for the TV movie. So you get the gist of it. They really are a random assortment of Doctor Who object from the series past. Now, the beauty of a title like this is because of its unofficial status. I love those official books that you were mentioning earlier on, but they do only tell half. Okay, 3/4 BBC. We'll give you 3/4. 3/4 of the story. I think a quarter to a third could be the fandom's own story and the things that we decide to cherish. They're not always brand approved, are they?
No, absolutely. I think there is sort of a received wisdom of what you would expect to be the 100 Objects of Doctor Who, and by the looks of it, this book is going somewhat off-piste, and he's not going for necessarily the kind of the expected. As it says, it's not the book you expected, and this is the kind of stuff that you and I and everybody else in the live chat talks about all the time. We're always talking about the little minutiae, the things that other people don't necessarily consider to be important, but they're the things that we love, and that's why I'm so excited about this book, because it just looks like it's a celebration of kind of the sort of stuff that I get excited about, the real geeky side, but where geekdom has become cool. So it just seems to be ticking a lot of boxes for me, this book does. And you're right about the cover, looks great, and apparently there's some great illustrations inside as well. It's an illustrated book as well.
I can't wait to see. So given the fact that these aren't all official items, your item can be anything. If you were to add one item to this 100, what would yours be?
Gosh, that's really tough, isn't it? I think my item that I would add, if I could put anything in, I think it would actually be the Weetabix stand-up figures from the 70s, which actually, I mean, those are official. To be fair, they are official, but those mean so much to me, and they're so difficult to get now in decent condition because they've all been played with and torn to pieces so much. And there's something that I just see those Weetabix figures, and it takes me right back to 1975, 76, 77 when they were first out. What would yours be, do you think?
I think mine would, it's album related. Actually, mine would have to be the Doctor Who, the music. Specifically, as we're talking about objects and not content, this would specifically be the edition that was out on tape, on audio cassette here, from BBC Cassettes, no less. So here we are. I think I might have talked about this before on a video on somebody's channel sometime or another. Yeah, there it is inside with its insert that rolls out and rolls out. So this was the very first sort of Doctor Who music thing that I ever owned. I played it and I played it and I played it and I played it, both sides. And there's the full version of the theme tune as recorded for season 18 of Doctor Who and then used for a few years after that. And lots of some great hits to here's bring a few memories back. So there's Nissa's themes on this, and so is Meglos, Ergon Threat, that classic tune that everybody plays on a romantic evening, Ergon Threat, and something called Subterranean Caves. That's on there.
You can pop back to. And the one that really always used to perplex me was Omega Field Force, and I'm assuming they got it the wrong way around.
Maybe.
Omega Field Force.
There's banqueting music on there as well.
I love that banqueting music from Warriors Gate. I'm the same as you. I listened to that album obsessively on cassette, same as you. I had it on cassette. And I still got it on my iPod to this day, and every so often Ergon Threat still comes up, and it's great. I love it.
And scenes as it's like, it isn't the content. It's this item. It's this piece of plastic and that inlay. It's this actual object. I've got the vinyl that's behind me over there. I think I've got it on CD as well. But it's specifically, that's what I think they mean. That's what I mean by an object. I think that's what Candy Jar means as well. And these sort of loving things that you have mostly when you're a child, and you cherish even your entire life. So I have no idea what could be making up the other 90 or so, but I certainly want to find out with this book. Apparently, let's have another look. It says that yes, 100 objects of Doctor Who has been sent to the printers, and they should be getting those in the next 2 weeks. It's the price is $9.99 plus postage, and you can pre-order that online now. But yeah, there is, as Simon rightly said earlier on, there is a bit of a freebie going on with this, a sampler. So you say you've had a look through this, Simon?
Yeah, I have. I've downloaded it. Anybody can download it. It's there on the Candy Jar website to look at now, and it's 10 objects of Doctor Who. And yeah, I've already had a little dip into it, and the whole thing, it just looks, as we already suspected, it looks our cup of tea, and I think it's fair to say it is going to be our cup of tea. Object 2, for example, is asteroid 3325. Doesn't that? And yet the next object is Cyberman Head. So there's a great mix of stuff in here. And the one that the Shadow is in there. Now, we've talked about the Shadow before now on Type 40. There's a beautiful illustration of the Time Lord Court from Trial of a Time Lord, a magnificent illustration on there that I want on my wall. The robot Cleaner from Paradise Towers gets to make an appearance. A Spoonhead. Now, this is the one that I'm most intrigued about. I haven't read it yet. A Spoonhead makes an appearance. So there's some cracking items in there. There's some obvious stuff. Cyberman Head you'd kind of expect, but then a Spoonhead, maybe not. So I think this is definitely going to be it's going to be something where you'll find some objects in there that you absolutely relate to, immediately say, oh yeah.
Yep.
And then there's going to be some that are going to get you thinking that you hadn't thought about before. So, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? So, and you can go and get it now. These 10 free objects, 40 odd pages. You can go and download it for free as a sampler to whet your appetite. So go and grab it now while it's there.
That's it. Yeah. So head over to the Candy Jar website, and all the links will be in the description for this video, so you can go and find all of that.
And so the hope is that next Tuesday, when we have our live show, we want people to have downloaded it by then, had a little dip through the 10 objects, and then you can let us know which is your favourite one and what you think of those 10 objects and what yours would be, what you would add into the list.
Yeah, because we have got one more big live stream coming up next Tuesday in this particular series. It's our big Easter parade episode. So it's a nice big party atmosphere. We're going to have a few guests on, as always, some of the regular voices, and maybe a few people popping in too to break open an Easter egg or chow down on some mini eggs. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? But we thought that would make a good conversational piece. So just bring along one of your objects and tell us about it. And we're going to be asking that of all the panel, and we'd like you to do that in the chat too. Bring along an object and tell us all about it. And yeah, don't forget to go and grab your free sample there, that PDF over at the Candy Jar website. We'll put all the links in the description of this video, and obviously all over social media too. Everybody loves a freebie, and yeah, everybody loves a Doctor Who book. I tell you what though, Simon, if I was to have known when I was a child that I would still be cherishing things like this now and reading about them, I'm not sure I would have believed it. You know, it's Doctor Who.
It does that to you somehow, doesn't it? And you know, I mean, I showed this a couple of weeks ago. This is one of my cherished objects from when I was a kiddie, and this is the little TARDIS that I made out of balsa wood. Made that when I was around about 10 or 11, and it survived somehow. It's survived all through the years. And its travels through the time vortex. It's a little bit dented. There's a little bit missing here, and it's a bit dusty and dented. But it survived somehow, and that's a really precious object for me. And so I think that's what Doctor Who does to you, isn't it? You as we've said before, Doctor Who is more than just a passive experience of watching a TV show. It's about, we want to interact with it. We want to read books about 100 objects that make up Doctor Who. It's the kind of thing we do as fans. And I think that's part of our DNA, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think for as much as the TV show itself, it's about, yeah, good scripts and great characters, they do help. But it's as much about moments. And I think the moments that stay with us, they kind of inspire us to make things or to buy things and to read things over and over again until the cover falls off or whatever. And if the cover falls off a book, obviously the expression we're now used to, aren't we, is that it's pre-loved. It adds to its character. And, you know, this cassette, for example, the last time I played it, I was a little bit teary as I realized it was starting to warp. And I was going to have to rely on my MP3 file from now on, or playing the vinyl. So it is sad that this will likely never play again, but I would never part with it. It's not going to get recycled because it's an object that means too much to me. So yeah, get in touch with your objects of Doctor Who goodness as we head into Easter. Get your thinking caps on and meet us back here at the Spacebook for Type 40 Live next Tuesday at 4 p.m. on the afternoon. And this is, yeah, I might as well remind you now, if you're wondering what all this is about, it's the first time you've seen one of our videos, Type 40 Live, it's our live stream. There's a whole series, nearly 2 seasons worth now, of Type 40 live streams here on the Spacebook channel. Lots of guests, lots of voices, lots of conversation. Sometimes it gets a little animated and opinionated. But you wouldn't have it any other way, would you? We're Doctor Who fans, for heaven's sake. We talk about the news, current Doctor Who news, old Doctor Who news, merchandise. We chew the fat, we throw things around and we explore ideas, and we sometimes, yeah, there's lots of banter and taking the piss out of one another, which is never a bad thing in itself. So you can look for that. Our latest show, we had a wonderful guest on the panel. That was Lee Adams from the Dalek Tales web series. And from Big Finish, yeah, the guy works as a sign designer now for Big Finish. So that's all there, all to be discovered here on the Spacebook channel, along with lots of other Doctor Who content, such as our actual Type 40 podcast. New episodes of that drop most weeks. A wondrous world of audio entertainment across the podcatcher of your choice there. We really do spoil you. But yes, please like the video and subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss any of that, do you? And meet us back here for more Type 40 Live very, very soon, and that big live stream next Tuesday. But yeah, thanks for that, Simon. I'm placing the order now, and
Absolutely.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what people have got to say come Tuesday.
Absolutely. Send us your comments.
So thanks for that, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.